Okay, so she woke up, Nemo jumped, oh my, Nemo jumped away and made a big mess and stuff. So anyways, like I said, she's very, very clingy, so she has to be put down hardly at all. So my OB was not able to be there for some reason, so I had a replacement doctor, her stand-in, and yeah, he was fine and everything. He didn't really do much of delivery until the very end. But anyways, it was a very, 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 very nice nurse that I had who was there, and she knew my anxiety about a lot of things and then about the pregnancy in general, and she was amazing. She kept me so much calm, like she kept me very calm and helped me through everything. Without her, I probably would have had to have a C-section and things would not have went how they actually did. Absolutely stunning. I owe everything really to her. She was amazing. Her name is Liz, at the maternity ward in the St. Rose. So anyways, so yeah, so I was about 5 centimeters dilated there. Things were going kind of smoothly. You're not supposed to eat or drink anything while in labor. The only thing you could have is ice chips, which I did, and a couple times I did start to get the shakes, and I got really nervous. I started to get a fever, and they had to give me antibiotics and a suppository, which is no fun. And let's see what else. So a couple hours are going by. I was at 7 centimeters dilated. I wasn't controlling my breathing very well. Like I said, I'm not very good at that. But so there were some complications that were starting to happen, and she was also not dropping to where she was supposed to be. So that was really bad. And when it started to get later, I'm trying to remember everything now. When it started to get later, they were kind of concerned about and the doctor did come in and make a comment that if she wasn't dropping, there might be the C-section. And prior to that, I was really nervous and really antsy, and I don't know if it was because of the antibiotics, but I was shaking continually. Like, you know how when you are sick and you have the shakes and you feel really, really cold? For a long time I felt like that too. And it is kind of normal during labor to get a temperature. During delivery, the highest my temperature hit was 103, which is very, very bad. And so that happened for a couple hours, and when I hit 9 centimeters dilation, I started to get the shakes again, because that went back and forth off and on. And that, I guess, is normal. When you hit that, is what the nurse said. So can't really remember the order of everything, but when they mentioned C-section, I got that really, really scary kind of calm. Yeah, baby. And the father was there and kept telling me, you know, just to calmly breathe and everything, which was really, really irritating. When someone just tells you to breathe over and over again, you're like, I don't want to frickin' breathe. Just you saying it isn't helping me. So advise your family members and whatnot that are going to be there to just shut up about that, because it just makes you really angry. But it's kind of funny too at the same time. So let's see. Yeah, when they mentioned the C-section, because that was my absolute biggest fear with the pregnancy and delivery and everything, I did not want to do C-section because I know how it happens, and that is really, really freaky and really scary, and I would not mentally be able to handle that whatsoever. So again, I got that really kind of scary calm. My breathing stopped. They said that I really needed to get my breathing under control because I kept hyperventilating for a while, and it was probably about like 5 o'clock-ish when this was going on. This is March 16th, like the next day. So I went into that just really calm, very normal. My breathing suddenly just became fine, and I was okay. And they said, we'll come back and check in 45 minutes to see how you are. And so 45 minutes later, it was time to push. I had hit the 10 centimeters. I was a-okay. And then, oh, at 7 centimeters is when, well, they manually check you, literally, like, they finger you to check your dilation. And 7 centimeters is when my water broke. So when they checked me, my water broke then at the hospital. My water did not break like on the way there or anything like that. So that's when that happened. And so so delivery. I could have 2 people in there. So 2 of my other friends that were there had to go and wait outside. It felt like delivery was really quick, but I was told it was probably about like 40 minutes or something. For me, it felt really, really fast, like maybe 20 minutes, but it wasn't. So that was kind of weird how I delivered. They had me lie on my back, and the nurse who has been helping me so much through all this, she was amazing. She was the one that did all this for me until the very end when the doctor stepped in. And it was like getting towards shift change too. So I was like, oh God, no, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I adore you. So they had me lay on my back, and the bed was flat. And you know those stirrup things you see in the movies where you put your legs up? Yeah, they were there, but I didn't put my legs in them. I had one person on one side, another person on the other side. So it was my grandmother and the father. I wanted him there. I needed him there, and I was very glad that he showed up. And each person held my leg up in the air. I could not hold their hands. I had to hold my thigh. And when a contraction would happen, which I did not feel at all, I had felt like no pain whatsoever. I was really, really, really numb. And oh, they also stick a catheter inside of you too. And so they could tell on one of the monitors that they had hooked up to me when a contraction was going to happen, since obviously I couldn't feel it. So when that would happen, I'd have to take a breath, hold it for 10 seconds, could not breathe out, could not exhale, or I had to start over again. I would pull my legs in, lift my chin up into this, but I had to keep my back, everything down. I couldn't do it. It was kind of like I was doing a crunch a little bit. And then I had to push like you're pooping, the biggest poop in the world. And I had to do that 3 times in a row, back to back. The thing was, my epidural was making me really, really numb, so it was hard for me to tell where exactly to push, because I was pushing in the wrong spot. So they had to turn the epidural off for a little bit so I could kind of feel where I needed to push. And at the end, like doing this over and over again, it starts to actually really get exhausting. And you will grunt like a weirdo and be really loud and everything. And you can't be self-conscious, of course, you know, everyone's gonna see your hoo-ha, and you just gotta deal with it. And there was a couple funny things that happened, but I'm not gonna go into them because they involve other people. But anyways, so everything was going fine. It's a very weird sensation. It's not necessarily pain, because you obviously are numbed, but as the nurse described it, you're gonna feel some kind of weird pressure, and you can feel yourself like this is not normal, this is and weird. It's a very strange sensation. I cannot describe it whatsoever. So we're going after this for a while. The baby was starting to come out, but for somehow, some way, I was pulling her back in. So going after this for a while, the doctor had to use a vacuum at the end, and only for a brief moment one time. He stepped in, and I was doing everything just fine. I was delivering everything well, and then one of my things on my notes was if you have to do an episiotomy, I think is what it's called, which is down there. Just do it, don't tell me. But of course, I'm not stupid, and I heard the scissors, and I heard the snip snip, and I knew exactly what that was. I had been cut to make room for the baby to come out, and I started to panic, and I freaked out, because that really scared me, like stitches scare me and everything like that too. So I was just turning to the father, I'm like, oh my God, you gotta talk to me, you gotta calm me down and everything. I was not doing well. And the nurse is like, okay, you've been doing great so the whole time, don't panic now, you can't do this now, because, you know, that would make complications. So at the very end there, you're grunting, you're pushing. It was finally the very end. I was getting really exhausted. They used the cone to help pull her out, and oh my god, it's the weirdest feeling. It's just, it feels like those slimy, squishy things from the 90s that the tubey things that you put in your hand and it just keeps sliding out. Yeah, imagine that wet with like soap and over again, but really large. And yeah, that's about as close as I can describe it. And then with the placenta, you kind of automatically push a little bit too. You don't necessarily have to think about it. But I was like, oh my god, do I push? Because I feel something happening. And the nurse was like, well, if you feel you need to, then go ahead. And so I did, and that all came. So she was born at 7:13 p.m., 7 pounds, 13 ounces. And she was laid on me right away when they were wiping her off, and it scared the crap out of me because she was purple. She was literally lavender and covered in a bunch of white stuff and goo and gunk. It was really kind of gross and ugly and really freaky. But yeah, it really scared me that she was purple, and I thought there was something wrong. And she did have a bit of a fever, 99 degrees, so they took her right away to like the newborn ICU. So I didn't get to hold her or really see her too much, and she came out and she was just screaming and hollering, and you know, they turned the epidural off then, and that was all fine, and I was just really exhausted. And then everybody went home except for my grandma. She stayed with me for that night, which was nice. And yeah, that was just, it was very surreal. It was very bizarre. It went a lot better than I had actually expected. I thought I was going to be freaking out a whole lot more, and like I said, I did have a couple panic attacks and some anxiety, but I was able to control it eventually. Oh, Grandpa Dumpagus. Oh, baby. Oh, that's it. I know, you have to move. I know. It's okay. She does not like to be moved at all. You're okay. Pinky, Pinky? No? Okay. But yeah. Yep, babies are gonna scream for randomly and stuff. And she's gonna wake up here fully in just a moment. But that's how she gets. If you try to set her down or move her, she will scream. She is super needy and super clingy. But I love her, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'll go ahead and talk about the whole weird postpartum thing in another video, because after birth, there is a whole other shebang of what's going on. I mean, they gave me a ton of antibiotics. I was in the hospital for 3 days, and she didn't get to come home with me until like the 5th or 6th day. She had to have antibiotics and everything too, because I had somehow gotten a bacterial infection or something, and it might have been passed on to her. So I had to have lots of drips in me, and I didn't get to go over to the ICU to see her very much, which was, you know, kind of rough. But when I saw her finally, it was really cute, and I cried. It made me really happy. So, yeah. You want to see her? See if I can pick it up. There she is. That is Serenity. Sorry, if I don't kind of bop her, she might wake up. So yeah, so that's how everything went through pregnancy. I'll talk about more stuff later on. So yeah, yeah, no makeup or anything, because it's just been, yeah, I don't have time to obviously go and do a whole bunch of stuff unless someone else is here to kind of hold on to her. So yeah, it's a process. We're getting through it slowly but surely. All right, may the force be with you. Bye bye. Bye bye, Serenity.